Well, the race is on to replace Republican Paul Ryan in the 1st Congressional District. But what do you know about the two candidates running for that seat? Well, we asked Randy Bryce and Bryan Steil to take us to 3 places. A place that influenced them, a place that they've influenced, and a place they want to influence if elected. Today, we focus on Bryan Steil. So, Bryan, is this where it all starts for you?
Yeah, welcome to my hometown in Janesville.
Bryan Steil's hometown has seen its share of setbacks, but the Janesville Republican sees this park as symbolic of the place he grew up.
As the economy really hit rock bottom in Janesville, but it's a resilient town, and that's a lot of the story of this area. Is how do you bounce back?
Bounce back from the GM plant shutting down decades ago. Thousands lost their jobs. Unemployment shot up to 15%. The future was bleak.
I mean, it was a work ethic that you saw of people here, of how you get things done. And people weren't focused on, all the noise you see now in Washington.
Employment is now down to 3%, and this playground that had fallen in disrepair over the years was rebuilt. Steil helped raise money for the community project.
And so I think my background gives me a great advantage when analyzing issues in Washington, given the opportunity.
Opportunities began after high school graduation. He went to Georgetown University and then Wisconsin for a law degree.
I come here on a regular basis as the campus liaison for the Board of Regents.
Governor Walker appointed him to the UW Board of Regents. Steil says his 2.5 years on the board helped him to influence the cost of education.
What does that mean today in terms of affordable education? I mean, a 2-year school, a 4-year school, is that still in range, you think, for most people?
We need to put it in range for people.
He brought us to UW Parkside to talk about the need to connect higher education with higher paying jobs.
Our educational product is sometimes stagnant from decades ago and needs to be focused in on what are the skill sets that workers and individuals need today, so that when they leave school, they can be as productive as possible and earn the highest wage possible.
He supports Governor Walker's tuition freeze, but is not a fan of free tuition.
So what free tuition means is somebody else pays for it. And so the alternative to somebody else paying for your education and running costs up is to actually go in and address the cost of education.
Steil points to a region vote he made to keep student costs down.
2 years ago, I was the lone vote against the UW operating budget because of student fees. And I said, are these fees necessary, or is this core to the educational product? And to me, it wasn't.
These days, he's focused on a competitive congressional race.
It's really about the American worker.
During our tour of Twin Disc and Racine, Steil geeks out about the equipment.
The torque is so much higher that
He's worked in manufacturing management for the past 10 years. As a lawyer, he also knows the stakes are high in the race to replace his friend Paul Ryan. Steil picked manufacturers like this one as a place he hopes to influence if elected.
What I want to do is put in place policies that drive wages higher. And so you do that by putting in place competitive structures to allow companies to be able to hire the best people and produce products right here in southeast Wisconsin.
So would you favor another tax cut?
I think there's going to be continued reforms that we can put in place that'll continue to grow the economy.
President Trump tweeted his support for Steil after his primary win in August.
Do you think President Trump has been good for the American worker?
The president's been good for the American worker.
How so?
The policies that have been put in place economically have really driven the economic growth. So we finally have a president that pushes a pro-growth, pro-economic agenda.
Paul Ryan was able to keep this 1st Congressional District red for 10 straight elections. Steil says he's not taking anything for granted.
What do you think your chances are?
It's going to be a tough election.
Now, yesterday we focused on Randy Bryce. You can find both stories on our website, tmj4.com.